The Falcons had a rough game recently, and in response, the team has made some urgent changes. Today, I'll break down all the latest moves, so hit that like button and let's dive in. On Monday, the Atlanta Falcons made several roster changes, bringing back some familiar faces and adding new ones. To start, the Falcons signed linebacker Rashaan Evans and offensive lineman Tyrone Wheatley Jr. to the practice squad. To make room, they released linebacker Monty Rice and offensive tackle Coy Cronk. They also released linebacker Milo Eifler, who's been on injured reserve since late August. Clearly, big changes are happening. Now, Falcons fans will remember Rashaan Evans. He's no stranger to Atlanta, having started all 17 games last season and leading the team with 159 tackles. Impressive, right? Evans also recorded 6 tackles for loss and 2 sacks, proving to be a vital part of our 2022 defense. Initially, Evans re-signed with the Falcons on September 30th, but was released just weeks later on October 12th. Now he's back in a backup role, showing that the Falcons still value his experience, especially with our linebacker group running a bit thin. Currently, Caden Ellis, Nate Landman, Troy Anderson, and rookie J.D. Bertrand hold down our linebacker spots. Adding Evans back in gives us more depth, and fans already know what he brings to the team. So Falcons fans, what do you think of this move? Do you believe Evans can still make an impact, even in a backup role? Now let's talk about the new face, Tyrone Wheatley Jr. This 6'4", 315-pound offensive lineman has had a winding road to get here. He started his college career at Michigan as a tight end, moved to Stony Brook University, and didn't really make his mark in the pros until 2021. Wheatley played in the Spring League before being signed by the Chicago Bears, thanks to Ryan Pace, who's now a key player in the Falcons front office. Wheatley spent time on Chicago's practice squad and also had stints with the Cleveland Browns and Las Vegas Raiders. Most recently, he was traded to the New England Patriots in August, but didn't see the field after being placed on injured reserve. Wheatley's journey hasn't been easy, but now he has a fresh start with the Falcons. With our offensive line needing depth, his size and versatility could be a big help. He's mostly been involved on special teams, but this could be the chance he needs to prove himself and perhaps secure a starting spot. Looking ahead, the Falcons are set to face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this Sunday at 1 p.m. at Raymond James Stadium. It's a crucial matchup as we continue fighting for the NFC South's top spot. With these lineup changes, it's clear that the coaching staff is working hard to address any weaknesses. To stay competitive, the Falcons need depth as the season heats up. What do you think? Are these lineup changes a move in the right direction? Could Rashaan Evans make a big impact again, or might Wheatley Jr. surprise us with his potential? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Now let's dive into the Falcons' Week 7 loss to the Seattle Seahawks. That 20-point defeat ended our 3-game winning streak and definitely got people talking. The big question is, was this just an off day, or did the Seahawks reveal a weakness we need to fix? According to Bleacher Report, this game was more of a one-off. They believe the Falcons still have strong potential to be playoff contenders, but there's one major problem to address before the trade deadline: our pass rush. If you've been following the Falcons, this shouldn't come as a shock. 7 weeks in, we're last in the league with only 6 sacks. Even teams with fewer games played are ahead of us in sacks. For instance, the Los Angeles Chargers, who have played 2 fewer games, have more than double our sack total. It's clear we're struggling to pressure quarterbacks, and without improvement here, a playoff run will be tough. Remember when we acquired Matthew Judon in August? We gave up a 2025 third-round pick, hoping he would solve our pass-rushing struggles. At first, it looked like a smart move, but it hasn't paid off as expected. Judon hasn't recorded a sack since Week 2 and currently has just 1.5 sacks, tied for the team lead. For someone we counted on to elevate our defense, it's been underwhelming. To be fair, we've had some defensive setbacks. Troy Anderson and Lorenzo Carter missed the Seattle game, with Carter now on injured reserve. But here's the thing, our defense has still held its own. The secondary and linebackers are performing well, but without a solid pass rush, it's hard to contain top quarterbacks. Bleacher Report suggests the Falcons should be active at the trade deadline, which is just around the corner on November 5th. Adding a reliable edge rusher could change everything. With this addition, we could transform from a solid team into a serious playoff threat, capable of a deep run. What's your take? Should the Falcons go all in and trade for a pass rusher before the deadline, or do you think we can make it work with our current roster? Coach Raheem Morris didn't hold back and admitted what many fans have noticed all season. The Falcons' pass rushing problem isn't just bad, it's getting worse. When Coach Raheem Morris was asked if he's worried about the lack of pressure on opposing quarterbacks, he didn't hold back. He said yes, and it's clear why he's concerned. He pointed out that we need to reach the quarterback faster and more effectively. When we do send pressure, it has to count. We can't allow quarterbacks to run around and extend plays. For example, we hit Seahawks QB Geno Smith once, but it resulted in a low-hit penalty. So even when we get some pressure, it's not yielding the results we need. Here's the harsh reality. We're dead last in the league in sacks. Only 6 sacks in 7 games. That puts us on pace for a mere 14.5 sacks this season. To put it into perspective, last year there were 8 individual players in the league who had 14 sacks on their own. Our entire team isn't matching that. Now, if you're trying to stay positive, you could mention that we pressured Geno Smith on 50% of his throws, our season high, and his too. But here's the catch. Not all pressure is the same. Smith is an experienced quarterback who'll hold onto the ball, waiting for long routes to open. When they don't, he just throws into the space our soft shell defense gives him. In other words, he's inviting pressure rather than actually being pressured. The Falcons are primarily using a 2-4-5 nickel defense with 2 defensive tackles and 2 standing edge rushers. Early in the season, we tried using bigger players like Zach Harrison or Taquan Graham on the edge, but we switched to faster guys like Arnold Ebiketie to reach the quarterback more quickly. But here's the issue. That adjustment hasn't worked, and it's also weakened our run defense. Teams are exploiting our wide gaps and easily gaining 5 yards per carry. While we're avoiding big plays, we're still allowing long drives that keep our defense on the field. Against Seattle, they scored only 3 points on their first 2 drives, but those drives took over 10 minutes. Our offense can't build momentum if our defense is stuck on the field. The Falcons have invested heavily in building a strong offense, so it's up to the defense to get the ball back to them quickly. Sitting back and waiting for the other team to slip up won't cut it. We need to be more aggressive. So what's the solution? Unfortunately, trading for a top-tier pass rusher like Max Crosby from the Raiders or Myles Garrett from the Browns is a long shot. The improvement we need has to come from within. The good news? Coach Morris and the staff see the issue and aren't ignoring it. We saw how fast offensive coordinator Zach Robinson adjusted things after our strange Week 1 game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now it's defensive coordinator Jimmy Lake's turn to make similar changes. Right now, we're getting better at stopping the run, but we still aren't getting to the quarterback, and that's not a winning formula. If we want to stay competitive in the NFC South, something has to change. So Falcons fans, what do you think? How can we fix our pass rush problem? Do you believe we have the talent to improve, or is a big trade the only solution? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We've got a huge game coming up, and you won't want to miss any of the action. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Falcons!